Good morning all. Well, it's afternoon. I was at work this morning and I knew I was going to have a short day, or the plan was to have a short day. So I threw my prospecting equipment in the truck in case I did get off early. And I was done with work about 8 o'clock. So I decided to head on up, see if I can find a little bit of gold. We've had a couple of good storms. And I knew the river was going to be up, but I wasn't sure how much. My plan was to go out on the gravel bar, set up the sluice box, and just see what we'd get off that gravel bar. But the river's up a lot. And that gravel bar is underwater now. So we got a spot right here where I got the sluice box set up. Spot right over here that we've dug there before, and my plan is to just start digging into that bank of gravel, run it through the sluice and see what we get. Now I've only got a few hours, so what the heck, let's give her a go. Got the sluice box set up here. This is a little side flow on the river. This is nowhere near the main channel. Dug out a spot here, got the box set up. I've run some gravel through to make sure we're set up good. And we're running a little bit too fast. I'm still getting a buildup of black sand behind the riffles. So I'm going to go ahead and leave it set up like this because I want to run quite a bit of gravel. I want to run it fast. Now, I'm probably going to be losing a little bit of the fine stuff, but I'm not going to worry about it. The object here is to just run as much gravel as you can. I'm hoping to get 5-6 bucketfuls through there before we got to get out of here. Okay, well, this is the spot here. This is where we were talking about earlier about pulling this big boulder here, but we have this pile of gravel. Well, I want to see if this is an eddy in here. I want to see what's been dropping out in this gravel. So we're just going to dig into the gravel. Now the plan is all this top stuff, just get rid of it. Underneath that top layer, we have sand. Now the trick is we want to get through the sand down to the first pack layer of gravel. But we're going to go ahead and run the sand because it'll go right through the box. Being basically lazy, I'm going to go a quarter bucket at a time. Okay, let's take it to the sluice. I'm sure I'm going to get comments on how I run a sluice box. And I do not meter my material in with a shovel. My theory is the more gravel you move, the more gold you're going to find. And if your box is set up correctly, you can't hardly throw gold out of a sluice box. You can overload it and lose some of the real fine 200 mesh gold, but it takes a lot of that really, really fine gold to make any weight. So my theory is if I find 1/4 gram piece and I lose 0.001 of gold, I'll take that as a fair trade. I just fill the box up, throw the rocks out, make sure you wash everything off, and then just let the water wash that gravel away. But what I'm looking for is as the last of it comes through, I watch the front edge and I want to see what my black sand's doing. And you can see the black sand, it's just laying in there. And it's moving back slowly, which is what we want. And it's not blasting out, so I'm good with this setup. It's still laying in there, so we're going with this. is you want to make sure there's no big rocks sitting in your riffles. If they're sitting up here, not a big deal, not going to hurt anything, but you don't want them sitting in your riffles. Just as a point, this corner of my box is got gravel built up and the other corner doesn't. Tells me one of two things. The water's not coming in straight, or my box is at a level. And I can look when you set your box up, I don't know if it's showing up on the video, but you'll see a V at the front of the box. My V is right here, which means my water is not coming in straight. You want your V over here in the center. So basically, I'm running the water too fast over here, too slow over there. Now, if you can fix that, you want to fix that, because that will cost you gold, because I'm too much flow on one side of the box. I'm not using the whole box. You know, this is 6 inches wide. I've only got a 4-inch box here now. The situation we're at, the time I got, I'm going to live with it, but generally, you want to make sure that V is right in the center of your box. And since I waited here this long, let's see if there's any gold in there. Nothing jumping out at me. Let's go get another bucket. Now, since it's rained, I don't have to worry about getting my gravel wet. The gravel's wet, so if the gravel's dry, you want to put some water in here. You don't want to dump dry gravel into a sluice box, because your gold will just float off. Okay, we're on our, I forgot, 4th, 5th bucket. I'm not sure how well it's showing it, but the gravel was up here. Right here is our hard pack, and you have to actually dig it, where this stuff's real light. This is down in there pretty good, and then you'll dig up larger rocks out of it also. This is our first bucket that we're taking. We've gotten down to that layer of hard pack. So this is taking the top 2 inches of the hard pack off. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna clean this out a little bit, see if we can see any gold. Now, you don't want to mess with the riffles, but you can play around in front of the riffles. There is a lot of black sand in there, and it must be heavier black sand because it's not clearing. And I see a piece of gold. Looks like a nice picker. Bring the camera down, let me show you. Hopefully you can see that right there. It looks like there might be a couple more pieces right alongside that picker. And I might have to lose this sweatshirt. This is getting kind of warm running back and forth with a bucket. Okay, let's do a few more buckets. I'm gonna dig around this boulder here. I want to stay against this boulder and see what comes out of that. See, now that we're down in that hard pack, we're running into some larger rocks. And this next rock may be an issue. I'm here to tell you that this rock was tough. This one actually got the sweatshirt off. It is a heavy rock. Oh. Buckets are getting heavier. As much as I hate to say it, This is going to be our last bucket because I got to get home before the post office closes, because today's a shipping day and I want to make sure I get product out to people who ordered it. Uh-oh, I just hit bedrock, I think. Yep, I'm on bedrock. You may not get your order today. And I'm kind of feeling like a beginner because I didn't throw in the metal detector this morning. So I'm probably going off and leaving some nice gold. Like that piece. That first guy to come through here with a metal detector is going to find. Much as I hate to, last bucket. Let's go dump it, clean up, see how we did. Okay, situation we're in here, the only way to get this box out of here is you want to pick up the back of the box. You get your bucket ready, pick up the back of the box until your flow quits. Then once the flow quits, you can pick the box straight up, let the water run out. Now we'll grab the pan and wash it out. Now what I do is I just take and just wash off as much as you can. Then when you get it down to a certain point, you can go ahead and pull the ripples out. Drop that mat in there. There's our concentrate. See how we did. Boy, I can see black sand already showing up in the back. Now when you're handing out concentrates like this, it's real easy to pan out gold. So what I do is I just pan down till I got a layer of black sand, and then bring it up and settle it again. Down to nothing but black sands, and that's a lot of black sand. So I think we're just going to take the black sand home, clean it up there, but I will see if we can get an idea of what's in there. Now I'm going to try and film this as I swirl it. I'm not very good at this. You can see we got just all kinds of fines in there. Now see, we got some larger pieces. Here's our larger stuff. Let me zoom in on that. There's our picker. We got some nice little pieces in there. Too bad that's not a piece. I can clean that black sand up a lot quicker at home when it's dry. So I'm just going to dump that in a plastic bag, take it home, we'll clean it up there. I'm going to gather everything up. Let's get out of here and see if we can get home before the post office closes.
The economy is mostly driven by consumer spending.
Back at the house, and you guessed it, it's the next day. Now I got that gold all cleaned up, but this time I made a video on how I clean it up, because I'm always saying I got that all cleaned up, but I never show you guys how I do it 90% of the time, which is a dry method. So I did a video on it. I'll put a link to that in the description below. If you haven't seen it, interested, check it out. All right, well, got that gold cleaned up. Let's jump over and weigh it. Okay, here's our picker. 0.47. Okay, our larger pieces. Here's our middle of the road gold. And our fines. For a total of 1.86 grams. A little under 2 grams. I'm not complaining, but I got to get away from this 2 gram thing. Now, I did learn a couple of lessons on this trip. Number one, if you got a metal detector, always throw it in. Who knows what I went off and left. I didn't expect to get to bedrock. So I may have made somebody's day, you never know. And then number two, I have got to find my larger sluice box, because I could have found a lot more gold, could have moved a lot more material with the larger box. And who knows, could have got at least a 3 grams maybe. Now I'm thinking, if the weather cooperates, I may do another sluicing trip, because it was really kind of fun. And a lot of work, a lot of exercise, but the old guy, he's getting kind of fat and lazy, so exercise won't hurt me a bit. Okay, well that's pretty much all I got on this one. So I'm out of here. You guys have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next video.